Good day, everyone, and welcome to our webinar, What ID Card Printing Technology is Right for You. My name is Edwin Vennerison, and I'm the Senior Marketing Manager with Barcode Group. When printing ID badges on PVC cards, you have three technologies available to you: direct-to-card, retransfer, and inkjet. But how do you know which is the right method for you? This is the question we will be answering during the next 30 minutes. We will review each technology and provide examples that enable you to determine the fit for your corporation. 2 points before we get started. The session is being recorded and you will receive a link by email over the next few days. Also, there is a Q&A feature available on the webinar today. Please submit any questions via that tool and we will address them at the end. Next slide, please. Launched in 1994, Barcode Group provides, integrates, and supports IT solutions that focus on worker mobility, supply chain visibility, and process automation. We're a global company made up of businesses offering products, software, and services to enable clients to digitally capture and act on data related to their assets, people, transactions, and facilities. Regarding automatic data capture, we focus on tracking data related to physical goods and applications like point of sale, warehousing, and supply chain. People identification relates to employee ID, student ID, membership ID, as well as access control, visitor, and employee management. The latter is what we will focus on today. And if you're not familiar with the name Barcode Group, you may recognize some of the brands in our People ID business, like ID Wholesaler, ID Zone, and AlphaCard. Next slide, please. Going through the details of the different ID card printing technologies is Mike Mans, Senior Product Marketing Manager for card printers within the Secure Issuance Division of HID Global. Mike manages the full printer portfolio, developing innovative solutions for key target market segments. He manages engineering roadmaps, but also leads voice of the customer projects to develop new products that fit the need of the end user. Please take it away, Mike.
Thanks, Edwin. I appreciate the introduction. And thank you all for joining us today. I think we've got some exciting information and some new data and products to share with everybody in attendance today. First of which, I'll share a quick video for everybody around our new Ink 1000 XE that's being presented by the Barcodes and Plasco organization. So here's a quick video to give you a little bit of flavor as to the new product we're sharing with everybody. All right, definitely something new for us, certainly new for the industry, and it's very exciting to be able to innovate something a little bit different than what we've all seen or used in the past. And so really what I wanted to share with everybody is we know that there's an expansion of the technologies available in the desktop printer market today. And really, what are the different technologies? What's right for me? What can I use in my organization to accomplish the goals that we have set forth in our badge issuance processes? And so what we're going to talk about today is really three primary technologies and three great examples of those printers within each technology base. First, the Ink 1000 XE. So this is really the inkjet-based card issuance solution that's very revolutionary in the card printing space today because of how we're applying ink to the card, the technology enablers behind it. What does it do a little bit differently? Secondly, we're going to discuss the DTC 1500 XE printer and really what does direct-to-card ribbon technologies offer for the customers. And finally, the HDP 6600 XE. And this is really a retransfer printer amongst the marketplace of retransfer printers that print very high quality and probably have some of the most feature-rich products and features on the marketplace today. So we'll kind of walk through each one of these and really what does it present to you as a customer and an end user. We'll start really high level with what is the technology process? How does it work? And so inkjet-based card printing today is very, very similar to a home office paper-based inkjet printer. We're applying ink directly onto the card, controlling it dot by dot in a very controlled manner with a wet ink-based product. Secondly, with direct-to-card printing, that process physically takes a print ribbon and places it over a PVC-based card and shuttles that card back and forth with a little print head applying a slight amount of heat and pressure to penetrate that die into the card substrate. And finally, in a retransfer printing environment, we're taking that same printer ribbon film or printer ribbon that we use in a direct-to-card style printer, and then we're printing directly to a clear film. Think of it like saran wrap. We're printing onto that film, and then that film sandwiches the image to the card and creates a little bit higher durability, but ultimately we're able to print at a very high resolution, high definition image, a little bit above what you would see from a direct to card based technology. So each one of these has their own methods and how we apply that personalization to the cards. So as you can see here, really what would you expect when you buy the printer? What am I going to put into that printer from a consumables perspective? On the far left, the ink-based technology, what we're going to talk about with our Ink 1000 here, that really is very complementary and very similar to what you may use in a home office, in a paper-based inkjet printer. It's very simple to use, snap-in ink cartridge, looks and feels like many of the things that you've used in the past for your home use, education spaces, things of that nature. Again, a very user-friendly product that's very new to the marketplace. Secondly, we'll talk about direct-to-card. There's two primary styles of ribbons that are used in a direct-to-card environment. First, you've got a cartridge-based consumable that slides in and out. When you put it in the printer, when it's complete, you take it out and dispose of it. Very simple, very easy to use. And then there's higher capacity ribbons that basically drape over a component within a printer, snap into place, and you get a little bit more volume out of that print ribbon itself. And finally, on the retransfer, the Fargo products are called HDP, high definition printing products. Those do use a print ribbon, much like direct to card, but we also use that clear substrate that we're printing to give us that higher resolution in the product itself. This is really a great slide that I think helps to guide people and end customers specifically around what technology is right for me. What could I utilize in my environment to really provide the best product for me and for my organization? And so as we look down the various technologies that are existing in the market now with the evolution of inkjet, there's a lot of differing components and a differing set of features that may guide you to what is important to you. If you want to look at card coverage, if covering the entire card surface is something that you find value in, HDP is going to cover that entire card surface with a ribbon-based technology. Inkjet is really going to cover that entire print surface as well by not having a little white border on the leading and trailing edges of those cards like you may have on a direct-to-card based printer. In direct-to-card environment, you're always going to have a slight little white edge on the left and right if you're holding the card kind of in a landscape mode. You're always going to have a slight white border because that is what protects your print head from interfering and making contact with that card, causing damage, causing you to have to repair that printer, and ultimately causing a little bit of downtime and potentially out-of-pocket expense. From a hardware cost perspective, Ink 1000 as an innovative product is a very entry-level price point. So this gives customers an opportunity to get into card printing if they haven't done it before. Now you have a product that's very affordable as an upfront cost to the product itself. Even if we want to look at a cost per card perspective, we really provide the flexibility now to give customers control over how many cards they get out of a single ink cartridge. Much like a paper-based product at home, you can determine how many pages you want to print out of that by deciding how much ink you want to apply to each piece of paper. We apply the same principles in the Ink 1000 products. If you want to print a full color card with a full background, lots of deep, rich colors, you're going to consume a little bit more ink. If you want to print a card that only has a face, a name, some text, very simple identifying information, you're printing with a little bit less ink per card, giving you an opportunity to print more cards per cartridge. If we look at durability, it really does go left to right in terms of some of the characteristics, good, better, best. Inkjet products are going to provide a very strong UV fade resistance. So if you have products that are going to be used in a high light environment, whether it's outside or in a highly lit indoor environment, Ink 1000 is really going to provide a great opportunity to prevent or create a long-lasting card. If you're looking at something that has highly abrasive environments, HDP is really going to provide you a card that's going to last a very long time in those environments. So it really is kind of a balancing of what's valuable to you. If we look finally at color vibrancy, Ink 1000 really is kind of a step above, I would say, direct-to-card technologies, because we're able to print at a very high print resolution. We're printing at 600 by 1200 DPI. And if you look at the resolutions of our other ribbon technologies, direct-to-card is primarily in the 300 DPI space. And retransfer now, I would say, is most commonly 600 DPI in terms of print resolution. So we're really providing very vibrant, deep, rich colors with inkjet and at a very high print resolution. So you get a very high quality, highly desirable card product as it ejects that printer. So again, a very interesting and exciting product to release to the marketplace, something new and innovative to really give the customers a very easy end user experience, something that's very familiar to them based on previous life experiences. So here again is the Ink 1000 XE. If you see, it's a very simple, small footprint product. Today, it is available in a single side only print mode, but it does those products in a very robust and high quality way. If we look a little bit here as kind of what the product is and how it features and functions, we have a very simple single button operation on top of the printer to power the product on and off. It also has indicator lights to tell the user if you're out of ink, out of cards, or if there's an error within the printer itself. There's a very simple sliding door that easily opens to access, to insert or replace the ink cartridges themselves, or to retrieve an error if something were to happen inside the printer. The input hopper, very similar and straightforward compared to a lot of the other products in the market. Place the cards inside. We also have a small card weight that'll plant on top of those cards to apply just a little bit of pressure to ensure that those cards properly feed reliably inside the printer. And then again, the output tray. The card shuffles through the printer, spits it out right back in the same orientation to the user, and giving those high quality cards to the user without having to reach to the other side of the printer, perhaps. Some of the benefits of an Ink 1000 printer versus some of the other products, it really is that full card coverage. You're getting a no white border product at a very affordable price point, something that previously has only been available in the retransfer space. You're now getting at a very entry level cost point. So very exciting to have something like that available to the customers. We're able to do this with technology cards. So cards that have internal antennas, for example, contactless access control cards are a great example of that. Many times in a direct-to-card environment, we're able to print and encode to those technologies, but based on certain card types, there may be a little irregularity on the surface of those cards, leading to little white halos or shadows on those cards. We really don't have that concern with inkjet-based printing because we're able to fill in those small irregularities with a very high quality printed surface. Again, super simple, very easy to use. I would say this is the lowest training required product in the card personalization space. You're going to find your employees, your team members are very, very quick to adopt and adapt to how the product features and functions work. It's very intuitive and it's very easy to walk up to the printer without any training and really understand what to do intuitively. And finally, this product is designed around the most common CR80 card size in that 30 mil thickness. We don't have any specific requirements around the card brand or technology used in that card in the printer itself, as long as it does have a PVC top layer. So you can use straight PVC cards, composite cards if they have certain technologies built inside of them. Any of the various card types that you may find on the marketplace today commonly used, they're going to perform very, very well in this product. So something a little bit different than what's historically been attempted in the inkjet space. There has been other attempts to do something similar before, but many times they come with some very stringent requirements around certain card types that had to be used, certain cost points that couldn't really be reduced to make that ink permeate and bite into that surface. Really the opportunity to develop something that's very proprietary to HID in terms of the ink itself and how we're applying that ink to the card surface really gives us an opportunity to pass along a true value to the end customer around opening up those limitations, giving you the flexibility to use any card stock that you'd like and perform and create a very high performing card in the end. Secondly, here we'll talk a little bit about the direct-to-card based technologies and what do those look like. And we're going to focus today on the DTC 1500XC available through the Barcodes and Plasco organizations. And what do these have to offer? Again, very simple to use in terms of user interaction with the physical product itself. We do have a 2-button console on this product. So there is a power on and off. You can also shuttle cards through left and right through the card path with some of those buttons as activated by the user itself. A nice input hopper that does hold 100 cards. Again, you can hold contactless cards, contact cards, magnetic stripe cards. We can encode all of those various technologies within a direct card printer, a little bit adding to that functionality above the inkjet based technologies where only contactless encoding is available. Now you get into the direct card products, you're able to contactless, contact encode, and even mag stripe encodes for many of those cashless vending opportunities, things of that nature. There's a ribbon drawer on this product that slides out, and those high capacity ribbons drape over a print head area that is going to slide inside the printer, present that ribbon to the product and be able to apply that image to the card. So you do get very high capacity ribbons. So you're able to drive home some of that cost per card value by getting higher capacity ribbons. Now you're able to print up to 500 cards per cartridge or per ribbon itself. So that's very helpful in terms of overall cost point for the products. And then each DTC 1500 does come with a pre-installed flipper. So you may order the product as a single side product and decide later down the road, hey, I'd really like to personalize the backside of my card. I have some additional information I'd like to place on there. You can upgrade those printers in the field to enable those flippers. So this is really a nice differentiator on this product versus many of the other direct card products available on the market, is kind of that future proofing. You can upgrade it in the future. You can add encoders in the future. You can add flipper modularity, flipper enablement, excuse me. All of that really is standard with the DTC 1500XE. From a printing benefits perspective, again, you've got an opportunity to print single side or dual side in one step. You don't have to manually intervene and flip the card over manually and resend it through the printer. All that can be done in a single step personalizing the cards. Again, you can touch on all of the encoding technologies available for many of your card usages. MagStripe still very prevalently used in cashless vending, many places with higher education space, or even small to medium business. Maybe it's being used around the office for some of those activities. Contactless encoding, if you want to have your employees have access control, utilizing their cards for more than one part of the business. Obviously, that's a very evolutionary product within many businesses, and that need continues to grow over time. So this product will continue to grow with your needs. It does have some unique features, such as a watermark capability. So if you want to gradually get into some of the security layers and make sure that your cards are not being fraudulently created outside of your organization, you can apply a very nice feature, what we call watermark, and it's basically creating an image, a translucent image on top of your card. So if you print those credentials, those ID badges, it's a very simple way for you to identify if somebody has tried to fraudulently create a duplicate badge and unable to create your duplicated watermark images. We also offer some special ribbons that have fluorescent panels, for example. You can create an image that is only visible with a black light. So very nice security features available on direct card based technologies. We can also utilize rewrite cards. If you have an area of your business that you'd like to have cards that are printed, obviously only using some black colors, that you may want to reuse those cards time and time again. Direct Card does offer the capability to do that. And as you get into the Direct Card layer of technology, it does expand a little bit of that flexibility in terms of the card capabilities. So you're able to utilize both CR79 and the most commonly used CR80 cards, but you're able to expand some of the thickness capabilities within the printer. So some organizations have very thin cards, 20 mil thickness, for a variety of reasons. So we can print anywhere from 20 mil up to the 40 mil thickness. So really expanding some of that capability and functionality as you get into direct-to-card. And now we'll talk a little bit about retransfer printing. This is really, I would say, the premium product on the market today. It's the most feature rich, and it really has a lot to offer an end user. If we look at the product from kind of an approachability perspective, we get a little bit more feature and functionality here. We do have an actual display on the product, an LCD display. Again, we have some buttons that you can toggle through as a user, providing you some visible indicators as to ribbon status, error handling. Any of those things can be visible right on the screen. Again, a ribbon drawer, allowing easy operation to insert and replace the consumables inside the printer. One thing that's unique to this product is it does have an external power switch. At the end of the day, you want to make sure that printer is turned off. You can physically do that on the outside of that printer. And the output hopper, obviously in this case, is on the far left of that printer unit. If we look a little bit deeper here into the retransfer printing benefits, what is unique about retransfer printing and why may I want to do it? If you're looking at a ribbon-based technology, 600 DPI really is the high resolution point in the market. So you're going to get that higher print resolution. And when you print on retransfer, as you can see in the image here, you're printing onto a clear substrate. And when you do that, you're able to get more definition, more photo-like print quality to that card. So you're really getting a high quality ID badge or credential out of that printer, higher than you would out of a direct card based technology. And again, when we do this, we're no longer reliant on intimate, perfect flat cards. So if you have contactless cards that may have certain irregularities on the cards, we're able to print those cards at a very high quality with no issues whatsoever. Full card coverage, again, we're able to print all the way around, no white borders, really giving you that highest end quality product. And again, we now offer, as you get into these products, a little bit higher layers of security features, such as very fine text. You're able to get very small text. If you want to create some unique security components on your cards, you can do it in small text, very fine lines. And similar to the HDP or DTC 1500, we also offer over laminate solutions. So you can add a laminator to your cards to add a little bit layer of durability and give you that long life to those cards, and possibly even create some custom holographic over laminates. I know I just shared a whole lot of information with you, but there's even more that you can discuss with any of the very well educated and very well trained folks at all of the brands you see here from the Barcodes organization, and they're happy to answer your questions. And I'll let Edwin take it from there.
Hey, well, thanks, Mike, for the insightful presentation. And as he indicated, the Inc. 1000, DTC 1500XE, and HTP 6600XE are available in any of these authorized resellers. So please reach out to your account representative at your preferred brand to discuss what solution might be right for you. So let's continue with some questions, Mike, and cover us here. One question came in regarding proximity cards. So could you compare the three printing technologies in, good, better, best related to printing on proximity cards?
That's a great question. I would say if you kind of wanted to layer good, better, best, I would say direct to card, Inc. 1000, and HDP based technologies. And really for the primary reason of prox cards, like many of the other contactless solutions, it's not uncommon to have cards that may not be perfectly flat throughout the entire card surface. So when that happens, you've got small, you'd call them almost divots or little dents in the card. And when you print on those with a direct-to-card printer, many times you'll have a little white halo where the ink doesn't get to permeate into that card surface. You don't have that risk with an inkjet based technology or a retransfer. That's why I would place those a little bit higher than direct-to-card.
Great. Let's talk a little bit about cleaning and the need for cleaning, and maybe compare the three printing technologies again. And the question maybe starts like, if you do not use your Inc. 1000 for like a month, what should you do before your first card is printed?
Sure.
And is that different for the other technologies?
It is a little bit different. Absolutely. So in an inkjet based printer technology, you're a little bit more reliant on either printing cards a little bit more regularly or doing a quick, simple cleaning routine. We have it in the driver. It only takes a few moments to clean that print head itself and give you that really high performing print output you're looking for. So I would say if your printer sat for a month, fire it up, do a quick cleaning routine, and you're going to be off to the races with no issues. In the ribbon-based printers, you can fire those things up at any point in time. There really is no cleaning routine that's necessary from that perspective. But I would say that the ribbon-based printers are a little bit more sensitive to regular cleanings than an inkjet-based product is. In the ribbon-based printers, we rely a lot on perfect placement of the cards with a series of rollers, pinch rollers, things of that nature that physically move the cards inside the printers. And so we really want to maintain a very clean environment inside those printers. So cleaning kits are very important on ribbon-based printers, whereas on the inkjet-based products, we still ask that customers clean the inside of their printers. They may get small amounts of overspray or debris in there, but I think it's going to really have a little bit less opportunity to damage the printer if you don't clean them at quite the same intervals.
Great. And maybe one more. So for somebody that is starting up doing ID card printing, what's the biggest thing they should look for in terms of image quality?
That's a good question. I would say in terms of image quality, if you're new to it, I think getting into inkjet is really an awesome solution for you. I think it's going to provide the easiest onboarding and easiest experience out of any of the technologies. But today it does have some limitations. If you want to print on both sides of the card, we're unable to do that with inkjet yet. Those things are obviously in many of the roadmaps that we have in place for our engineering teams, but the products that we have today are primarily single side focused. So if you want to print on both sides of the card, you are going to look more in the direct to card or the retransfer spaces. And really that's going to allude to what is your budget on a cost per card, as well as your upfront CapEx to purchase the equipment, and what fits within your business models.
I noticed just one last one. This came in, which is I think very good. So could you compare the three printers in terms of are they compatible to be set up as a network printer versus a locally connected printer?
Yeah, the Ink 1000 today at this point is only available as USB connection. So in most cases, you're going to connect those directly to a present PC. The other two printer technologies, direct to card and retransfer, the DTC 1500 and the 6600 HTP in this example, those are both also Ethernet compatible. So many times those are hosted on a network within an organization, and they function very well in that environment as well.
Great. Well, thanks so much, Mike. Look forward to having you again as these printing technologies kind of keep evolving. But I really appreciate your participation in this webinar today. Audience, thank you for your time. I know it's precious, and hopefully you learned a lot, and let us know if we can help you further. Thank you very much, and we'll see you at the next webinar. Bye-bye.